Hello, this is a story about frogs and witches, but unlike other stories, you can play all kinds of fun games too. See the cute little book our artist worked on for so long? The left page shows you what parts of the story you can go to, and the right page shows you what games you can go to. This amazing little book lets you start wherever you want. If you'd like to start from the beginning, which is indeed a very good place to start, click on the left page now. Or click on the tabs until you see where you want to go, and then click on the story page or the game page. If you have to leave, come back here and click on our tired little friend there. Many years ago, there was a year that was a mighty bad year for witches. They were everywhere, big ones, little ones, ugly ones, and uglier ones. In fact, there were so many that there just weren't enough people to go around to cast spells upon.
Let go! I want to put him to sleep for 100 years!
You let go! I'm going to change him into a chicken!
But I saw him first!
You did not!
This wood is just full of sneaky little witches, and there's nothing more fun than casting a spell on a sneaky little witch, especially when the spell makes her invisible. Whenever you see a witch, point your magic wand at the witch and then click to cast a spell. When you cast a spell, you see one of your spell stars disappear from here. Every time you hit a witch with a spell, your score will get bigger. Click on the play button to start. It got so bad that even the witches couldn't tell which witch was which. Then one day, as a little witch was searching the forest for a victim,
If I don't find somebody to cast a spell on, pretty soon I'll...
then suddenly the witch saw a little frog sitting on a log near a pond.
Well, what have we here?
We have a frog. What have we there?
I'm a witch,
That figures.
and I'm going to cast a spell on you.
Oh, come now. I'm already a frog. What else could you do to me?
But the witch was desperate, and with a wave of her hand, she changed the frog into a handsome young prince.
Oh boy, that felt good.
Hey, what's the big idea? I don't want to be a handsome prince. I was happy as a frog.
Well, I admit it isn't the kind of spell we usually cast, but times are hard. Ta-ta, dearie!
The young prince went back to the log and squatted down where he used to sit as a frog and dreamed of catching flies, but somehow it just wasn't the same. He even tried a few croaks.
Me. Sugar-rump, sugar-rump.
But it was no use. He knew that if he was ever to be happy again, he must find the witch and make her change him back into a frog.
It's like they say, you can take the frog out of the pond, but you can't take the pond out of the frog.
Oh, I almost forgot. Have a nice day.
Grog, grog, grog.
Looks like we got another one that croaked.
Here we have a witch. And here we have a frog. You have to help this witch get through the maze to this frog. Click on the arrow that's on the path you want to take. Click on the play button to start.
Ah, cold and dark again.
Hey, witch! Is that your nose? Or are you eating a potato? I heard that your spells never work anyway.
Oh, bother. Which way now? Now I'm going to change you into a fish. Curses!
So the young man set off in search of the witch, and after several hours of stumbling through the woods, he stumbled into a castle. This particular castle was owned by a king who had a very beautiful but unmarried daughter.
Why don't you get a husband?
They're all frogs or something these days.
This young man who just walked through our wall doesn't look like a frog.
Ah, are you a handsome young prince?
No, I'm a handsome young frog.
See?
No. The boy is just a little mixed up. What he needs is a wife, say, like you. He's not your everyday prince. He's not your everyday prince.
What could be better than a game with suits of armor? Why, nothing, of course, because you're in a castle. Click on the play button to start. The king will be rather upset if he sees his armor all over the floor. Let's help put them back together again. Click on a piece of armor, then click on the spot where it should go.
Huzzah to you! Good show there!
So despite the young prince's protests, they were married. They were very happy and had everything except a home.
But dearest, do all brides have to live in a pond?
They do if their husband is a frog. And where are those flies I asked you to catch me?
But if I don't get a real house of my own pretty soon, I'll just die.
Listen up, little froggies around the world, and I'll croak you a tale
To make you lily pad girl, you better learn.
Pay attention!
Better watch out for the witch.
or you might end up looking like an
Ugly.
Handsome prince. Yeah.
This pond may look like an ordinary pond, but it's not. In fact, it's an enchanted pond, with enchanted frogs hiding under the lily pads. The little witch there has changed their voices, and they sound very unfroggy. See if you can match all the frogs that sound the same. Click on a lily pad to hear the frog hiding under it. Then, click on another lily pad to find another frog making the same sound. Keep going until all the frogs are matched. Click on the play button to start. The young frog prince finally gave in and built her a beautiful cottage. Then one day, when he was in the yard casing a June bug, a witch came by.
Oh, goody! A handsome young prince. Probably the last one left in the kingdom, and he's all mine. I'll change him into a
Frog?
Now, don't get carried away.
What kind of artist would draw a cottage without a chimney? That's more like it.
Our poor princess has had enough of witches and the witchy things they do. It's time to do a little clean-up in the yard. When one of the sneaky little witches pops up, click on her and see what happens. After you've clicked on a few witches, you'll see just how handy a broom can be. Click on the play button to start.
Good idea! A frog it will be!
That night, at the dinner table,
You know, honey, you've insisted that you're a frog for so long that you're even beginning to look like one.
But I keep telling you I am a frog, and if we don't move back to the pond, I'll just die.
just then, the little witch who had originally cast a spell upon him came by and was amazed to see that he had returned to a frog.
Mighty strange. Usually when I prince 'em, they stay princed. Well, I'll try again.
Only this time he was changed into a chicken.
Chug-a-rum!
I'm with the FBI. Frogs by incantation. I'm looking for a witch.
Which witch?
This witch. Short, ugly, big nose. Goes by the name of Hazel.
You mean like her? Honey, come back to dinner. We're having roast chicken. Where did my husband go? And why is that chicken out there?
Hee. Cut.
I need a little more oomph in that laugh.
Hee. Cut.
Hello, you're not listening to me. Could we please put a little feeling into this? Again from the top.
Hee. Cut.
I need a little more oomph in that laugh. Why'd you turn me into a chicken?
Well, dearie, an elephant won't fit on this CD.
Well, it was bound to happen. The princess has lost her marbles. She thinks they're in the kitchen somewhere. See if you can find them. To look in one of the cabinets, click on the door. Keep looking until you find all the marbles our poor princess needs. Oh, and do be careful. Sometimes you may find a witch in the cabinet, and witches are notorious for stealing marbles. Well, these witches are anyway. Click on the play button to start.
I hadn't lost all my marbles.
That did it.
And deciding that it was time to call a halt to such nonsense, he angrily stormed into the Witches' Union where he confronted the head witch.
Now look, first I was a frog, then a prince, and now I'm a chicken. I've had enough. King's is X.
Okay, I'll change you back to whatever you say. What do you want to be?
Be a prince, honey.
Yeah, a prince.
So be it. Here, Prince. Nice prince.
Not that kind of a prince.
Oh, sorry.
But try as she would, the old witch couldn't change him into a prince, so she finally returned him to a frog.
I'm sorry, dearie, but you've been bewitched so much that I just can't make a prince out of you.
The poor frog was confused and very sad. He turned to his wife and said,
I'm afraid this is it, dear. Will you still love me even though I'm just a frog?
Well...
That tickles.
Let me try. That's not it.
one thing that witches just love to do when they get together for union meetings is make their own creatures. Here's your chance to make something. First, click on the recipe until you see a recipe you want to use. Then click on the ingredients in the recipe to add them to the cauldron. When you're done adding ingredients, click on the spoon to stir the cauldron. And one word of caution, if you don't follow the recipe, you may get some very strange results. If you want to experiment and make your own creature, find the page in the recipe book with the big red X. Click on the play button to start. Right ingredient, wrong amount. Uh-oh. That doesn't belong in this recipe. This should be interesting.
Will you still love me even though I'm just a frog?
Well... Sugar-rumph! Yes.
And with that, they both hopped back to the pond, where they sat on a mossy rock and exclaimed,
If we have to stay frogs for the rest of our lives, we'll just die.
Cut! Where's that makeup artist? The frogs' noses are too shiny.
Our little friend at the bottom of the waterfall needs some help getting to the top without getting hit by any of the nasty, icky stuff floating down. Click on a rock to guide the frog to that spot. Remember, our little friend has little legs, so he can only jump one rock at a time. Click on the play button to start. Of course, they didn't die, but you can be rest assured that they croaked every night. Oh dear, do you have to go now? Oh dear, do you have to go now? Okay, but before you go, here's a list of all the people who worked on the Frog Prince. Many of them have since been turned into frogs.